Welcome back all. So this will be our first tutorial where we will actually deal with Bash. So there are a few more aesthetic things that you can do to make your screen look better. For example, I have changed my background. Right click, change background. Oops, it went onto my other screen. And then you can change the background of your desktop and of your lock screen as well. So you see, you just click on it and then select from it. So you have, I don't know, some wallpapers. You can, so you just add pictures to the folder and they will show up here. Basically, here is the folder. This is the file manager. You open it up and everything is going to my other primary screen. So you have documents, downloads, music, pictures. You can put it here in the pictures and it will show up there, the ones that you download from the net. Also have my USB down here. It's named Fedora Live. I forgot to relabel it. I'm not running a live version. Let's close it. Also, since we are using GNOME desktop, you can just use your mouse and hit the upper left corner once, and you can see you get this menu. Now you can get here by pressing the home button, basically the one with the Windows screen, with the Windows icon on it. So you just start button, however you wish to call it. You just press it and this happens. So you get into it, or you just hit the upper left corner. Now, I have customized this bar on the left side to a certain extent with some of the tools that I like to use and that I need. For example, I have Kdenlive, which I use for video rendering and editing. Here is the file manager, which will be here by default, the terminal, Firefox, web browser. I have boxes for virtualization here as well. Decided to give it a try to see how it goes. Thus far, pretty good. System settings, etc. Now, up here is the search bar where you type in the name of whatever you wish. For example, terminal, and there you go. You have the terminal here. So you can just go ahead and click on it and it will open like everything else. It opens up on my other screen, but okay, never mind. I'm just going to go ahead and open up another one. So you see, once you attach it here, you can open it here. To attach it, just drag the icon and put it here. It will be placed there. It doesn't want to go there now because it's already there, but like this. And if I was to release it, it would be there. No problems. To exit this screen, just press the start button again or hit the upper left corner again. No big deal. And you will be back. I have also changed the host name of my machine because, I don't know, I like to have my own name that I tend to use. If you want to use it, if you want to change it yourselves, okay, let me just drag the root terminal. Another one here. You need to become root. So you become root by typing in su, and then you'll be prompted for a password. I'm not prompted for a password because I'm already root, so you just type in su, type in the password, and you will become root. Then you can use this command to temporarily change your host name. Where is it? Give me the long version, please. Oh man, it's bound to be somewhere here. Never mind, I think I have it. There we go. So like this. Hostname, ctl, set-hostname, space, -- static. I pasted the command basically, because I didn't want to retype the whole command now. And then you type it in like this, quotation mark, something. Press enter and your machine from that point on will be called something. Of course, you will put your own name there, the name of your own choosing, that is. Okay, so we will need the root terminal for a few other things. Before we get into the terminal, let me just show you how you can customize it a little bit, because we all like to do that. Go into Edit, Profile Preferences, and then you can mess around with the terminal. You can state your cursor shape. You can use the font. I'm using font 16 because I want you all to be able to see what it is that I'm writing on the screen quite clearly. I could go a bit further, maybe 18 or something like that. Yep, let's leave it at 18, no big deal. Just so that you can see it better, but use whatever font suits you. And then you have certain commands which can be run, but that's not really interesting to you now. You can use the system colors, or you can use your own colors. There are built-in schemes. I'm going to use white on black. You can use whatever you wish, or you can customize it yourself. You can select the text color, the background color, bold color, etc. And you can also have either a transparent or a non-transparent background. So whatever you wish, it's up to you. You can set the amount of transparency that you will have, opacity as it is called, so you can mess around with it there. I do believe that's about it, so no need to actually change anything else here. If you want, feel free to mess around with it further. I just figured that this setup would do you the most good. Now we're gonna need 2 terminals, so yeah, but later. First of all, we need to use DNF space update. And I've just done this in order to save some time, but for you, the update will take a while because it will pick up a lot of updates for the system. You don't need to reboot the system at this point of time. It is not like Windows. It is very different from Windows. It does not consume time upon shutting down the machine where it says, please don't shut off your machine now. And it does not consume time when you're booting up the machine where it says configuring the updates or something like that. No, there is no such thing here. What you do during the runtime will be applied. And once you boot the machine next time up, it'll go just fine without any problems of whatsoever. You will suffer no delays. Now that we have done that, please type in DNF install VIM. It's already installed here. During the installation, you'll be prompted one question. You can answer it with yes by typing in Y. It's going to ask you whether you wish to install it or not. So just press yes to install it, or no, don't install it. You need to be connected to the internet in order to do this. You can view the status of your connection in the upper right corner. You see there's one Ethernet card and the other one, and my wireless is turned off completely. So you can just check it out here, and you can have wired settings. So feel free to mess around with it. You see it's on. It will be on by default, so you won't need to actually do much here at all. If you have any problems, if you need any help, the discussion section is always there for you, so feel free to come around and I will be more than happy to help you out any way I can, or the staff will be there to help you out as well. Anyway, now that we have done that, let's go ahead and clear the screen and move. We're no longer going to need the root terminal at all. So let's just exit. And we're going to need 2 terminals. One is going to be up like this. It's going to consume most of the upper portion of the screen. And the other one is going to be down. You don't need to position them so. You can position them any way you like. I personally like it this way because, well, you'll see soon enough. Better to demonstrate than to actually than to give you some dry talk. Let's go ahead and exit our root. There we go. Clear. To clear the screen, you can press Control L, so you can have a command, some command, and some command again. And then while the command is written, you can press Control L to clear the screen and the command will stay there. It won't be hindered. Or you can just type in clear to clear the screen, which is very useful and it comes quite in handy. Now that we have these basic things set up and running and going, if you have any questions about setup, additional customization, if you want to do something but don't know how to do it, feel free to ask. But this is what you need in order to be able to learn Bash. So you don't need pretty much anything else. This is more than sufficient. If you don't like transparency, well, don't use it. I prefer it. I think you have a good contrast and that you'll be able to see everything. Anyway, the first subject of today will be unique or special characters. Now, these unique or special characters you will need to know, and it will help you to read the code. It will help you to understand the code. I will begin with them, and then we will go over a series of other things which will enable you to understand the code. Once you understand the code to a certain extent, we will move on into scripts, and these scripts will increase in size. Some of them will be shorter, some of them will be really long, and hopefully through practical examples and through practical usage, you will be able to learn Bash scripting. So let's begin. These unique characters or special characters, they are a part of Bash scripting language. These characters, they have special built-in meaning in Bash, just like Bash commands do. So for example, one of the commands would be that we've just used, clear, to clear the screen. So clear, this is a Bash command. It's going to clear the screen. You can also put it in a Bash script, or you can type it here in the terminal. In Bash, you can group sets of commands, which is quite handy because you don't want to be. It's quite handy for repetitive tasks, so you don't have to retype them every time you want to do it, but run one script, and one script runs 100 commands, which is very nice. So the very first character that I plan to talk about today is hash. So this is hash, and it does have a considerable amount of functions in Bash. So there are certain things that it does. One of the most common things that it does is denote comments, denote comment lines. But aside from the comment lines, it's also you can also use it to tell the machine how you would like the machine to interpret the shell that you have written. Here's what I mean. If we type in VIM is a text editor, and if we want to open up a file and create a file, you can open up existing files, but if the file doesn't exist, the file will be created. So let's name it first. Let's name this file first, and let's put the extension .sh. Press enter, and now I will go ahead and start typing things in. First of all, VIM is not that simple. It can be quite complex at times, but very powerful. You will learn it and you will get used to it. Don't worry about it. If you don't get it immediately, it's fine. I will tell you all the things that you need to know along the merry way. So it has multiple modes. They're very useful because if you open up certain files, you don't want to be able to immediately edit them and make errors there. You want to be able to open them, have a look at them, and if you want to edit them, then you switch to another mode because you don't want to accidentally edit something. So in order to exit this mode and enter insert mode, you just press I. And now you are in the insert mode, and you can see at the bottom it says insert. Now you can type things in. To exit insert mode, you press escape, and there we go. You are outside of the insert mode. You can no longer type things in. So let's go into the insert mode again with I, and let's type in hash exclamation mark /bin /bash. So you can see now that I am telling the system with this statement, please interpret this script as a Bash script. This is a Bash script. So that's what I'm telling to the system. And this is only valid if you put it like this. You could have told the system to interpret it as a Python or a Perl script or something like that. Doesn't matter. For the time being, we're using Bash, and that is what I want to teach you here. Perhaps later I can create some additional tutorials for those scripting languages as well. Now, if you press enter again, we are creating this is the template for our first Bash file. If you press enter again, and you scroll down a little bit, and now the next command that we will use will help you understand what comments are. If we type in echo, echo basically just prints out to the screen whatever it is that you type in. So it just repeats. Look, hi there, how is it going? What sort of a day are you having? Okay, the contrast is getting pretty bad. Let me just be quick about it. Preferences. Profile preferences. Let's kill the transparency. Okay, I was really hoping that the contrast would be better, but no. You can see things better like this. Anyway, it says, hi. Hi there, how is it going? What sort of a day are you having? Any good? And quotation marks. Now this will be printed out to the screen. And if we would like to create a comment, for example, explaining what this command does, obviously you don't need an explanation of what echo does, but sometimes you have certain complex functions which you need to explain, because somebody else will come and use that code and read that code, and they won't have a clue what it is that you were talking about. So they need that comment, and from that comment they will read and know what the function does. Comments are completely ignored by the system. They are not taken into consideration by the machine, and they do not affect the execution of the code. So, for example, I can type in hash here, and then state this will print whatever through the screen. Excellent. So there you go. And if you don't believe me that this won't be executed by the system, take a look at what I'll do next. I'll state echo, and I'll do something. I'll say, do you see this? Close quotation marks. And this will not be printed out to the screen. This will just be a comment. You will not see it anywhere other than inside the code itself. And one more thing. How many of you believe that I have actually went into the next line with is? I haven't. Let me just relieve your doubts. Until I press enter, and until all the way, if I'm just continuing to type here, this is all considered to be a single line. But when I press enter, you can see that the highlighting changes completely. So I am in a different line now. And if I type in echo, the different line, you will see that this will indeed be printed out. And that regardless of whether or not this actually seems like it's in the next line, it's not. This is all considered to be a single line. How do we save the contents here? Well, you write the contents out to the file. So you press escape to exit insert mode, you press colon, and then you issue commands, text-based commands. For example, you type in W to write things, and then you press Q to quit, and then you can press exclamation mark to force this to happen. There's no need to force it now. But for example, if you have conducted changes to the file and you haven't saved them, it won't allow you to quit unless you force it or unless you actually write them. So if we wanted to quit without saving, we would type in Q exclamation mark. But if we want to quit with saving, you would write WQ. Press enter, and there you go. We are out of the file. Now we would like to execute this file, run it, and see what happens. So if we type in /first.sh, press enter, it says permission denied. What could this be? Why is the permission denied? Well, let's have a look. We use the ls command to list the contents of a certain directory, and we use ls-l to get a long listing. And if we get a long listing for first.sh, we can see the permission sets. So these here are permission sets. What I have selected are the permission sets. So read, write, RW, read, write, and X is for execute. You can see that nobody has execute permissions. The first three are the permissions of the user. The second three are the permissions of the group to which the user belongs. And the last three are the world permissions, the sort of permissions that everybody has for that particular file. So we need to give it execute permissions. How do we give it execute permissions? When we type in chmod +x first.sh. And now we can run first.sh. And you can see it says, hi there, how is it going? What sort of day are you having? Any good? And then it says different line here. The comment has not been outputted to the screen and you cannot see it anywhere. It is not like in Windows where you have .exe file and it will execute everything. No. You need to have a permission regardless of whether it's an executable script or not. You need to have a permission. Anyway, as I am running a bit short on time, I bid you farewell, and we're gonna go, and I hope that I shall see you in the follow-up tutorial.